The Quran was given to Muhammad by the angel Gabriel through the will of God. This is the same God and same angel Gabriel that is seen in Jewish and Christian scriptures. All three religions worship the same God and are monotheistic religions, but they follow a different path after the covenant made with the prophet Abraham. The Quran is the primary scripture for Islamic tradition. The purpose, according to the Quran, is found in Surah 297. Say, anyone who opposes Gabriel should know that he has brought down this unto your heart in accordance with God's will, confirming previous scriptures and providing guidance and good news for the believers. The Quran acknowledges and respects scriptures from Judaism and Christianity as divinely inspired texts. However, there are contradictions in theological beliefs within these separate scriptures, such as Islam does not believe in Jesus Christ's resurrection. However, they still acknowledge Jesus Christ's words and actions as being a follower of God. God said that Abraham will be the father of all nations, and that God will honor this covenant through his descendants. God said that Abraham's wife Sarah, who is of old age, would be able to conceive. Sarah did not believe that God has granted her fertility in her age, so she brought forth her handmaiden Hagar, whom Abraham had a son with, called Ishmael. Later, Abraham fathered a son with his wife Sarah, called Isaac. Islam believes that the descendants that God talked about in his covenant follows through Ishmael and not Isaac, while Judaism and Christianity gets their ancestry through the covenant being with Isaac and not Ishmael. The divisions of Islam within Islam originates in the controversy of who should follow and continue Muhammad's mission. Sunnis believe Muhammad's successor should be chosen by the Muslims within the community, while Shia believe the successor is Ali, Muhammad's son-in-law, and that every follower of the Prophet in leadership form should be a descendant of Muhammad. There are some theological differences, but the foundations primarily remain the same between Sunni and Shia. However, Sunnis tend to be known as more inclusive.
The 5 pillars of Islam are the 5 basic acts in Islam. They are considered mandatory and are considered the foundation of Muslim life. In order to be Muslim, you must follow these 5 pillars. Shahada, which is faith. Salat, which is prayer. Zakat, which is charity. Siyam, which is fasting. And Hajj, which is pilgrimage to Mecca. I will further explain these 5 different pillars. The first pillar out of 5 is Shahada. Shahada equals faith. Shahada is a statement said by the Islamic that directly translates to there is no God but God, and Muhammad is the messenger of God. This statement is essential to become Muslim and to convert to Islam. So the second pillar is Salat. Salat is prayer. It consists of 5 daily prayers. The first prayer is Fajr. It is conducted at dawn. The second prayer is Dur. It is conducted at noon. The third prayer is Asr, and it is conducted in the afternoon. The fourth prayer is Maghrib. That one is conducted in the evening. And finally, Isha is done at dusk. One fact that I found interesting was that Muslims all face towards one direction when praying during any one of these 5 daily prayers. They pray towards Kaaba, which is located in the center of Islam's most sacred mosque. It is considered to be the most sacred Muslim site in the world and is also considered the house of God. When performing Salat, Muslims are expected to face Kaaba no matter where they are located in the world. One of the icons of Islamic faith is the prayer calls that you hear out loud in the streets of Islamic countries. 2 times a day, they will do prayer calls called Adhan. In some places, Adhan is done 2 times a day, where the first call will be a reminder for the people to get ready for prayer. And then the second call consists of the beginning of prayer. Zakat is the third pillar, and it means charity. Zakat is a charity that Islamic people pay to families in need or individuals in need. In some countries it's required, in other countries it's volunteer, and depending on the family or individual that's paying zakat, the form of charity may vary. If they are a higher class individual or family, they can pay a portion or percentage of their wealth, and if they are lower class, the family or individual is able to pay zakat in some other hospitable form. The fourth pillar is Siyam, which is fasting. Siyam in the Islamic religion is best known in the context of Ramadan. During Ramadan, Islamic people refrain from drinking and eating any food while the sun is up. It is meant to seek nearness and look for forgiveness from God, and to express gratitude and dependence on Him. Refraining from violence, anger, envy, greed, lust, and profane language is also a common practice during Ramadan. The fifth pillar is Hajj, and Hajj means pilgrimage to Mecca. Every year during the Islamic month of Dhu al-Hijjah, Islamic people travel to the holy city of Mecca to pray to Kaaba. Everyone is required to visit Mecca at least once in their life. Women and men all dress in ihram clothing, which consists of 2 white sheets. While at Mecca, people practice some rituals like walking around Kaaba 7 times or touching the black stone termed Istilam.
As of 2011, there were over 1.6 billion Muslims in the world, totaling about 23% of the world population as shown in the chart provided. Today, there are about 2.2 billion Muslims in the world. 87 to 90% of those are Sunni Muslims, and 8 to 12% are Shia. The largest Muslim population is Indonesia, a nation home to 12.7% of the world's Muslim population, followed by Pakistan at 11%, India at 10.9%, and Bangladesh at 9.2%. About 20% of Muslims live in the Arab countries. Europe makes up about 2.7% of the world's Muslim population and 6% of its own population. Islam is projected to make up nearly 10% of Europe's population by 2050. About 1% of the U.S. population identifies as Muslim, 1.8 million adults and 2.75 million total. By 2050, Muslims are projected to take up over 2% of the U.S. population, surpassing those who identify as Jewish. As of today, Judaism is the second largest faith group in the United States, besides those who identify as having no religion. From 1992 to 2012, the Muslim share of immigrants granted permanent residence status or green cards increased from 5% to 10%. On average, Muslims have more children than any other religious group. On average, each Muslim woman has about 3.1 children, compared to 2.3 of all other religions combined. As of May 2015, 77% of Muslims still identify with Islam after it being their childhood religion. In comparison to other religions, they are second to Hinduism at 80%, followed by Judaism. In the Arab world, 34% of Muslims answer to Islam and 4% are leaving. 44% of Muslims in Southeast Asia are leaving Islam. Also, 28% of Muslims in the West are leaving Islam. 12% from Iran are leaving Islam. Another notable region with a high rate of turnover is Turkey at 4%.
In the 1970s, many educated, professional Muslims began arriving in the US and Canada. These Muslims were coming to North America to continue the missionary work on behalf of Muslims and Islam. At this time, the American public was just becoming aware and curious about Islam and the Middle East. This curiosity was brought about due to the Middle East oil crisis in 1973 and the Iranian Revolution in 1979. This was the perfect opportunity for the Islam missionaries to inform and spread the Islam religion in North America. Islam has become such a renowned religion that many chaplains have been placed in small prisons. Large number of former prisoners have found refuge with the Islam faith and have hope for a new life. In general terms today, there are not active recruitments for Islam, but they are always open and welcome to new converts. Islam is very much an inclusivist religion. Islam being inclusivist means that they believe their faith is the one and true faith, but accept that others believe in different traditions and respect others' rights to hold those beliefs. However, Islam holds many of the same beliefs as other traditions. Islam strongly believes in prophets and the Creator sending prophets carrying their message. They believe prophets bring humanity closer to their Creator by guiding its followers towards the Creator and bringing the commandments of the Creator for humanity's way of life. Islam means submission to God. Everything done in life, from rituals, beliefs, and personal behavior, it should be pleasing to your God. Just to name a few, Islam upholds respect for the Quran revealed by Muhammad, the Hebrew Torah from the Prophet Moses, the Gospel, and the Psalms of David.